You want to begin meditating. You've tried meditating, hasn't worked out. You're just thinking about meditating. Why should I do it? Should I do it? Let's talk about it today. My name is Seanlyn. Welcome back to my channel. And today I want to talk to you about meditating. And this is very, very beginner stuff. I am by no means an expert, but meditation has been a key part of my life for probably the past 6 years or so, because it is such a helpful thing for stress and anxiety and anger. First part that I want to talk about with meditating is that it can be guided. For me, it always has to be guided. And what that means is that you are going to listen to somebody else guide you through a meditation. There are so many different options out there, from podcasts, apps, YouTube videos, so many different things, so that you don't have to basically just sit in silence and be still for a while, because that is something that I would say most people are probably not able to do, not comfortable with. It's just not something that comes naturally to a lot of us. For me personally, if I tried to sit in silence, I would just have 5 million thoughts running through my head. So there is no such thing as sitting in silence for me, because it just wouldn't work very well. Along that same line, you do not have to clear your mind. I feel like that's a really big misconception with meditation. That is something that I thought that had to be done at first, but you definitely do not have to clear your mind. The point of meditating is to notice your thoughts, be an observer of your thoughts. So there is no pressure to clear your mind. For me, the guided meditation helps me to focus on something else, so that it's not just racing thoughts and me listening to that little voice in my head. It's something else that I can focus on to help me be more of an observer of my thoughts, which I'm still working on. It is, it's called meditation practice for a reason. We're all practicing all the time. There is no perfection. So that is something that really helped me learning that I do not need to clear my mind. That is not a part of it. You're not meditating wrong if you don't clear your mind. You're not missing out on something. It's not that you are the only one who can't do that. Many people, probably most people, are not able to clear their mind. So just let that roll off your back. You don't need to worry about that. It's just letting it come. Let those thoughts come as they will. So we know there's positives and that meditation is helpful. That's why you're here. You want to start the practice of meditating. So, guided meditations, super helpful, very easy way to get into it without having to try to come up with something on your own. And also, it gives you a specific time frame of doing a meditation. Many of us don't have a lot of time for meditating, and I can't remember who it was that said it, but they said, if you think you don't have time to meditate, then you need to meditate for 30 minutes. So, it's something that is really, really helpful for us. And for the guided meditation, giving you a specific amount of time, it's really nice because you can choose what amount of time you want to spend on meditating. I use a few different meditation apps and podcasts, and I'll let you know all those at the end. But they can range from 2 minutes, not kidding, the shortest meditation that I have, guided meditation, is 2 minutes, all the way up to 45 minutes. So many options ever in between. I feel like the most common is probably 10 to 12 minutes, and that's what I try to stick to. Sometimes, though, I just do that 2 minutes because that's all I feel that I have time for, and that's all that my brain will allow me to process. And so sometimes that's just what I do. It's just a little 2 minute meditation, just to kind of do a little bit of a reset and make me feel better. When you are meditating and you notice your mind maybe start to take over a little bit, something that I do just as a little reset is focus on my breathing. So when I meditate, I'm breathing in through my nose and out through my mouth. And that is very helpful for me to focus on something else other than the thoughts in my brain. And I will say to myself, in and out. And I say that in my brain so that I can kind of refocus and pay attention to the guided meditation again, because my thoughts will be going so much that I actually am basically not hearing the meditation. So I do that as a little reset of kind of focusing on my breathing, the in and the out, when I notice my mind is wandering so much that I'm not even hearing the meditation anymore. So that is something that's such a big tip for me that really helped out when I figured that out, is that I can come back to my body, to my brain, to my meditation just by focusing on my breathing a bit. And you will notice listening to guided meditations, a lot of times that is what they have you focus on, is your breathing, because it is such a good quick reset. It's something that you can do anytime, anywhere, and it just helps bring your body down. Another thing that used to intimidate me was the positioning. I feel like a lot of us have that typical, crisscross, hands open, not moving a muscle, completely still, perfect posture sort of image in our minds. But you actually just need to be comfortable. That's the big secret. You just need to be comfortable. If that means sitting up straight and being cross-legged and everything, great, perfect. If that means laying down in your bed, laying down on the floor, on your couch, whatever, that is perfect too. One of my favorite positions that I like to do is I'm laying on the floor and I have my legs propped up on my little meditation pillow. So it's kind of a little bit different, but it just makes me feel really relaxed, and I can just focus on what I'm hearing and my breathing, as opposed to trying to sit up straight or having pressure on a weird spot or having my leg fall asleep, because that absolutely happens when I'm in crisscross sometimes. And I change up my meditation position a lot. It's kind of just whatever I'm feeling that day. So you are not pigeonholed into doing one thing in terms of positioning. Also, it's truly whatever is comfortable for you. I have even had meditations where I'm walking and breathing. That one, you do have to have your eyes open, but it is something that can be helpful when you're just starting out too, because then your brain is focusing on your walking and what you're listening to. So that can help out with also the racing thoughts or wandering thoughts that may bring you out of the meditation experience. For consistency, if you don't meditate every day, what's the point? What are you even doing? No, I'm just kidding. You definitely do not have to meditate every day. Just let that pressure go, because that is not necessary. It is called a meditation practice because you're constantly practicing. It is something that is not set in stone, and it has to be done in this one specific way, as I think you've gathered from this video so far. So something that is helpful to me is saying, just because I didn't meditate for the last 3 days, the last week, the last month, the last 2 months, sometimes that happens. It doesn't mean that I just give up and I'm done. Well, looks like I'm not meditating anymore. No, I can anytime just jump right back into it. And I think that is something, perfectionism, whether it's a cultural thing, society, your own individual thing. I definitely have the perfectionism thing going on. And so you do not have to be perfect. You do not have to do this every single day for it to be a habit and something that you find value in. Meditating at all is helpful, is valuable. So don't feel pressured if you miss days, if you miss weeks. It is okay. You can just pick it up anytime again. And try not to feel intimidated when you haven't done it for a while and doing it again. That definitely happens to me. When that does happen, I'll typically do that little 2-minute meditation that I talk about to kind of get me back into it. That's just comfortable for me. That's what feels comfortable for me. So it's really whatever is going to work for you and whatever is going to make you feel like, ooh, yeah, I can handle that. I can take 2 minutes and breathe. I can take 4 minutes and breathe. Whatever works for you, just kind of jumping back in, not beating yourself up for not meditating, because then it's kind of counterintuitive, kind of does not work very well if you're beating yourself up for not meditating. We're here because we want to be calmer and nicer and kinder. So now you've started meditating, You have some guided things. Now, how do you stick to it in any sort of habitual way where it hopefully can become a part of your daily routine or every other day routine, kind of whatever works for you? Something that I discovered is from Gretchen Rubin. She has the podcast Happier, and I love listening to it. It's really great. And she has a bunch of different strategies for maintaining habits. And one of those strategies is pairing. So, kind of exactly what it sounds like. You pair your new habit with a habit that you already have. So, for me, I shower every day. So, I decided I would meditate after I shower every night. And that is something that really helped a lot because it's something I do every night, it's something I do every day. I have to go into my room to get changed. So, when I go back into my room to get changed, I meditate and then I change into my relaxed clothes for the evening. So that is really, it's a nice way to wind down. I'm winding down from work. I'm getting ready to get sleepier and get into my sleep hygiene routine. And so that is a really helpful thing for me is pairing it with something that you're already doing. The after shower works for me. Maybe it's, waking up in the morning, drinking a cup of water, and going to meditate. Whatever works for you, however that works out. Sometimes I will meditate before my shower and I do a face mask. And then during that face mask drying time, I meditate and then I go and get in the shower. And it's just like the loveliest little self care routine. I mean, how relaxing does that sound? Put on your face mask, you go meditate, then you take a warm shower. Just lovely, absolutely lovely. So that is something that I do on my days off because it's not something that I'm going to do after work typically. I work 10 to 12-hour days, so not really doing face masks on those days, but I do that on my day off, and it's just such a nice little self-care routine that makes you feel really nice afterwards. I think that pairing is a really helpful strategy for getting your meditation practice to be more consistent. Something else that helps me stick to it is I have one of my apps send me notifications that it is time for your meditation. And I actually have it morning and night just so I see the notification so that it kind of triggers my brain to be on alert for when do we have time to meditate? How can we make this happen today? If I get to meditate more than one time in a day, whew, excellent, great. If it only happens once, that's great too. Fantastic. But the notifications, for me, that helps me because then I kind of see it on my phone. It's right there. It's a visual reminder to me of something that I want to be doing today. And lastly, let's talk about the couple of things that I would recommend to get you help you get started meditating. Some of the guided things that I like to use. So one of them is a podcast. Podcasts are free, so very easy to get it anywhere. But it is called First This, and it is by Catherine Nicolai. I also listen to a sleep podcast of hers, so I'm a big fan. A sleep podcast of hers. So I'm a big fan, and it is 11 to 12 minutes on average, 10 to 12 minutes every meditation. And she puts out a lot of new ones, and I just love them. They're so easy. They're really simple. They're always something different and new. She has so many. It's a huge library of them, so it's really nice. Sometimes I don't want to listen to the same one every day. Sometimes I do. So just kind of depends. And then an app that I love to use that is also free is called Let's Meditate. And that guy has been around for a long time. I've had it on my phone forever. It's made it through different phones, but it has a variety of lengths of meditations. So that's where I have a 2-minute meditation. There's a bunch of, 10 minutes and under. There's 15, 20, 30, and 45 minutes. So a bunch of different options. They have male voices, female voices, so kind of whatever you feel more comfortable listening to. And they put out new meditations infrequently. So that is my only kind of downside of the app. And so that's why I kind of have two different things so then I can change it up a little bit because I do get bored if I'm listening to the same thing over and over again. So I do like to switch it up and kind of pick different things. And they are donation based, so that is also part of what helps them put out new meditations is if you do donate at least just a little bit. I've donated to them plenty of times because I do really like their app and I do want to support them. So that is all that I have for you guys. I really hope that if you are thinking about meditating, trying to find some consistency, trying to stop beating yourself up about being inconsistent, that this video helps. We're all just here trying to practice, trying to do our best, trying to be more calm and zen in the world. At least I am. So I hope you guys have a great day, whatever you're doing, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.